Before we get started here, I gotta show you guys this real quick. I don't know if you can see these, but these sticks are beat up. These are pretty gnarly. I've got this thing where I cannot throw away a pair of sticks until they are completely broken, no matter how gnarled or how chewed up they are. I don't know if you can see this. The tip is chipped on, I think, both of these, but I will not start a new pair of sticks until these ones are broken. And even then, if one breaks, I'm probably gonna use the other one with another semi-broken stick that I'm just waiting for it to completely snap. Back in Alaska, where I grew up, I was buying sticks for 16 bucks a pair, I think they were, so it was just painfully expensive to buy sticks. So I've got this like PTSD post-war rationing thing just stuck in my brain where, like, it's not like I don't have any more sticks. I mean, I've got brand new pairs of sticks here. I could just start a new one right now, but I can't. Like, I just can't let myself do it. So I know I can't be the only one that's like this. I know there must be more of us out there, so let me know if you're the same way. And if you'll indulge me for a second, I'm just gonna throw in a quick tribute to those of us that suffer from this affliction. Okay, so enough of that. Let's get into what we're gonna talk about today. Today, I wanna talk about a certain style of playing that I see a lot in Larnell Lewis from Snarky Puppy and Matt GARTSKA from Animals as Leaders. It's kind of hard to describe, but in their grooves and in their flow, it's almost like their accents and their emphasis is never exactly what you expect. It's like backbeats are often not on 2 and 4, crashes are often not on 1, and it's this really different but cool sounding flow that I find difficult to emulate and almost difficult to wrap my head around, but it totally works in their playing situations. But I do have an exercise today that has been helping me and hopefully will help you start to kind of get into that style of playing. So the way we're gonna do this is by using a specific permutation. And if you know me, you know that I love permutations. And what I mean by that is taking a pattern and shifting it through a grid, a subdivisional grid. So in this case, we're gonna be using 16th notes as our grid. We're gonna take a basic breakbeat, and then we're going to shift the kick and snare through time, 1/16th note at a time. Before we get into any of that, let me just show you the beat we're gonna be using before we do any of the shifting. Okay, so not too bad. That's our kind of basic breakbeat that we're gonna be using. Very simple, but once we start permutating it, that's when things are gonna get really, really weird. So I'm gonna have the sheet music pop up on the screen, and then I'm also going to have a link to all of these exercises on the GrooveScribe. So you can just look in the description and there'll be a GrooveScribe link. You can click on that and it'll pop up all the permutations we do today. So you can hear them, play them faster, slow them down, and then modify them however you want. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take that beat exactly as it is. We're gonna leave the hi-hats alone, but we're gonna take every bass drum note, every snare drum accent, and every snare drum ghost note, and we are just going to shift those over 1/16th note so that ones become E's, E's become ands become uhs, so on and so forth. So check this out. I'm gonna play this for you, and this is what our basic breakbeat sounds like with our first 16th note permutation. So you can see how different this is already just by shifting things over 1/16th note. And I think it sounds great. I think it still totally works as a groove, but it breaks so many conventional rules. There's no defined backbeat on 2 and 4. There's no strong kick on 1, but that's kind of the style we're going for. It's already starting to kind of put us in this kind of flowy Matt Gartska, Larnell Lewis type thing. So let's keep moving on. I'm gonna show you now what the second permutation would sound like. It's gonna be the same thing. We're just gonna take every note that we had in the last exercise and move it over by 1/16 note. So this is what that would sound like. So again, this sounds completely different, and what I like about it is that it starts to get your brain used to hearing accents, ghost notes, and bass drum notes in different places than you would normally hear them. And they might kind of feel or sound strange at first, but once you start playing it a few times, your brain kind of comes to accept those notes being in those spots. And in my mind, that's what Matt Gartska and Larnell Lewis and cats who play like them are really, really good at, is they're really good at not thinking, oh, a note has to be in any particular spot. Any note of any value could be in any 16th note spot on the grid and it would still work. So we're gonna do one more permutation, but because this is a 16th note grid, you could actually do 16 different permutations of this one basic breakbeat. So you could go in the Groove Scribe, you could take what I've written out and then just shift every note over one by one until you've gone through all 16 exercises. But for now, let's just look at this last permutation. So again, sounds completely different, but still sounds really cool. Now, this is just an idea. I've given you a few specific exercises, but the larger idea here is that you don't have to just permutate one note through a grid. You can permutate entire patterns, entire beats, right? So just like we did here, you can take any beat in the world and start shifting it through a grid and come up with completely unique patterns. And you don't need to stick to just 16th notes. You could do triplets, you could do quintuplets, right? There's so much that you could do with this exercise. And I'm pretty sure that this is something that Matt Gartska does specifically. I'm pretty sure I heard him on his Drumeo lesson say he does something almost exactly like this or exactly like this. So hopefully this is helpful to you in some way. If you do anything with this, please tag me in it or share it with me in some way. I'd love to see what kind of permutations you come up with. Again, hopefully it helps you. If it didn't, sorry. And if it did help you and you want to see more, you can subscribe to this channel and get more videos when I make more videos. So until then, thank you for watching and I will see you in the next one.